You're watching NFL Daily, and help us get to 250,000 subscribers. I remember the day that we just launched the YouTube channel here at Chat Sports, and it's pretty crazy to think that we've almost hit 250,000 subs. Now, why were we able to do that? We work our freaking tails off here. Daily videos every single day. Literally new videos coming out every 3 hours. Plus because our audience and the fans that we got here, man, they're the best fans on YouTube. So if you're a dude that loves NFL content and you want your voice heard, hit that big red button in Chat Sports and join all of our shows. It's NFL mailbag time here. Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports, where we say, hey, you guys submit your questions, and we're going to go ahead and talk about them. Easiest way to get on our live shows is the Super Chat, but if you want to wait in line and use hashtag NFL, hey, I'm not going to hate on you. Let's go to Brandom Games. Mitch, is there another receiver other than Julio Jones that teams could possibly trade for? Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of guys. They're talking about Anthony Miller, Christian Kirk could be a name, Michael Gallup is a name thrown out there. I'll even throw out this name. If Aaron Rodgers ends up getting dealt from Green Bay, you're going to see Devontae Adams trade rumors start to pop up as well. Let's go to PM YouTubers. Okay, who you think will have the best career, not as prospects? Jamar Chase, CD, Devonta Smith, Jefferson, Judy, Ruggs, and Jalen Waddle. So if I had to say not as prospects and just like in terms of where they are right now and overall fit, I mean, you almost have to give it to Justin Jefferson after the year that man just had. I'll then go on and say Jamar Chase being paired up with Joe Burrow. I think it's going to be really good for him. CeeDee Lamb, I'll throw out there. Then I'm going to go with somebody like Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Waddle, and then Henry Ruggs. Let's go to 4 Hype or 3 Channel Friend. Who was the better player back then, Earl Thomas or Kam Chancellor? That's a really good question. I'm actually probably going to go with Kam Chancellor, and the only reason why I'm going to go this route is because it was called the Legion of Boom. This is really a defense where Cam was kind of just thrown into a position where not a lot of people thought he'd be able to thrive, where he's playing linebacker, he's playing safety, but really bringing that physicality. Obviously, Earl Thomas was a great player as well, but they had a lot more help in the secondary. I'm going to say the Chancellor because he also brought a lot of fear to players going over the middle. So give me Bam Bam. All right, Brian, you're next up here. Dark horse MVP candidate. Mine is Baker Mayfield. So if you're a Browns fan, go subscribe to our Browns channel, youtube.com/Browns Report. Dark horse MVP candidate. I'm either going to go with Tua Tagovailoa or I'm going to go Justin Herbert, and I'm going to base it off the fact of seeing these guys take that next step in year 2, plus the teams did a lot to put a lot of talent around them. You want dark horse? That's the route I'm going. Let's go to Johnny Football. If you're the Broncos GM and Watson avoids major trouble, would you trade for him or Rodgers? If there's no trouble whatsoever for Deshaun Watson, he's 100% in the clear, and you know that he's going to be there, I mean, for me personally, I'm going to go Deshaun Watson for the simple fact of this. He's a lot younger, and if both of them are on the football field, sure, Rodgers might be better now, but I know Watson's going to be playing for another 10 to probably 15 years. But who do you got? Type DW for Deshaun Watson or type AR for Aaron Rodgers? I get the idea that quarterbacks can play for a lot longer, and maybe since Watson's a little bit more mobile, he can't play as long as Rodgers, but if we're talking about the next 10 to 15 years, I'm going to take Deshaun Watson over Aaron Rodgers. Call me crazy. All right, Super Chat, Stevie Dixon. Pair character putting his head in front of his mouth while blushing. I'm going to read them out anyway. I know it's an emoji, but it's just, I always find it weird that this is how they pop up, and I try to read it, and I get halfway done, and I'm like, you're an idiot. I don't even know why you read that. But I am Ron Burgundy for a reason. Let's go to Louie. What up, Louie? Compensational third and N'Keal Harry for Julio Jones and a 4th. No. Sorry. Not even close enough. I mean, I get N'Keal Harry was a former first-round pick, but you got to at least include a second-rounder or else no way you're getting Julio. Let's go to Edward. What up, Edward? Appreciate your question, man. In regards to defensive tackles for the Raiders, do you think Stills makes the roster? I think his chance now is a lot better. If you're a Raiders fan, please go check out our channel, youtube.com/Raiders Report. Getting close to 79,000 subs. The host there, though, is kind of a douche. Personally, I think Stills does have a chance to make the roster, especially with David Irving, getting moved on from. But I still think Kendall Vickers has a better chance, and I also think somebody like Darius Philon has a better chance than Stills. All right, what up, Cylon? Which team has the best offensive line? I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns, and maybe that's, kind of the cheap way to go about it, but They were the best offensive line this year. I think they're going to be the best offensive line again this year in terms of people. We always talk about Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I'm not taking anything away from those two running backs. They're great. They're also really freaking good because the offensive line is super impressive. All right, I want you guys to subscribe now and stay up to date on everything going on around the National Football League. The reason why notifications are important, especially in the offseason, is because, let's be real, we're all busy, right? That's just kind of how life is. You go certain ways. You can't always stay up to date on what's going on in the National Football League. But what I don't want you to happen is, you come across a video in June. You're like, wait a minute, Julio Jones, he got traded. I just don't want you to miss that type of information. So the offseason is very, very important. We put out daily videos, 100% free, so you got literally nothing to lose. Even Stevens, what a hell of a name. Dude, I love this show. If you didn't watch this show growing up, then you're doing it wrong. Should the Chiefs sign Kwon Alexander? It's a good question. I will say in terms of best overall fit, if I'm Alexander, the Chiefs would actually be a team that I would 100% go to. The real question is this. Is he going to be healthy? And nobody knows. That's the only reason why he's still available, because when he's on the field, he's one of the better linebackers in the league. He jumped around from team to team last year. I believe he finished the season with the Saints. He's no longer there anymore. But if the Chiefs want to go out and they want to add a little extra depth, sure. If there's a team that should be able to go out and get whoever they want, should be Kansas City. Let's go to Dion Kennedy. I think I got that right. Appreciate the super. Where does Von Miller play? I'm saying he's going to stick with the Denver Broncos. If you're a Broncos fan, go check out our Broncos channel, youtube.com/BroncosTV. All right, Steve's just trying to really hook it up today. Steve, I appreciate all your super chats. Much love to you. And, if you haven't subbed yet, which I'm sure you are, if you actually could, Steve, do me a big favor. Send that link to some friends. Maybe we get them to super as well. Mr. Cutchin? Did I get that? I don't know. You got to catch them all. Do you think the Lions will have a top 10 offensive line? I do not. I get the fact that they extended Ragnow, who probably the best center in the league, but I'm still not going to say the Detroit Lions are going to have a top 10 offensive line. ACB collects. What do you collect? Which sophomore quarterback has a sophomore slump this year? All right, this is a fun question. In terms of a sophomore slump, I might actually go ahead. I don't want to say the name Joe Burrow, but just because people might get mad at me for that. I don't think Herbert has a slump. Tua could potentially have a slump, but when I also think of a sophomore slump, it's like he had a great rookie year and then has a bad year. I can't say that Tua had a great year, and I don't think it's Herbert. So if Burrow struggles with a knee injury, I'll go with him, Burrow. What up? All right, next question coming up here on NFL Daily. What up, Mark? When does Brady enter the Hall of Fame a given 10 times over? I guess I don't really – he's a Hall of Famer already. I get he might not be a Hall of Famer, but the day he retires, he's a Hall of Famer. He's the greatest of all time. It's not – you can't even debate it anymore, the fact that he won all the rings that he did with New England, and now he goes ahead and wins one with Tampa Bay. You're talking about a guy who's got 7 Super Bowl rings. There's teams that – no other NFL team has 7. Brady leads the pack. He's getting in. Robert Bruce, what up, dude? Hello, Sam. Hello, Jeremy. Hello, Mitch. Do you think Stephon Gilmore and a 22nd round pick is enough for Julio, please? I do think that's enough. Yes, if that's what it took, and I think that actually would be a very good trade, a very fair trade for both sides, because Atlanta, they still need some cornerback help. I get the fact that they have AJ Terrell, but I thought it was a little bit of a reach when they took him in round 1. But, yeah, I think that's actually a win for both sides. What up, Edward? Do you see Solomon Thomas having a breakout season back at DT instead of defensive end? Breakout season, no, but this could be actually a pretty solid player in terms of overall fit. So one of the reasons why Thomas decided to sign with the Raiders 1 year, $5 million, because he came out and said, you know what, man, this defense reminds me a lot of the defense that I used to play at Stanford, and sure, he was a lot, I think, one of the reasons why I think Thomas struggled so much in the NFL, he's undersized, and he could really get away with a lot more stuff that he could in college, and you can't really get away with all that in the NFL. But he could be a player that could sneak up on a lot of people. Yes, I agree with that. So if you haven't already, Edward, please go ahead and subscribe to the Raiders Report. The link's below. Dropping new videos there literally every single day around the Las Vegas Raiders. Corwin, what do you think about Drew Lock? Well, he's definitely not a lock to be the starting quarterback for Denver. They went out and got Teddy Bridgewater for an obvious reason. There's not a lot of confidence there. Lock throws the football like he has the strongest arm in the league. What Lock needs to do is kind of take a reality check and start playing the way Alex Smith played, play the way that I thought Baker Mayfield played at the end of the last season, where you got to take care of the football. They're not going to win games with Drew Lock, but they can lose games with Drew Lock. Let's go to Sam Z. Can the Cardinals afford Julio under the cap? Yes. Any NFL team can afford Julio Jones. And I'll say this. I hate bringing up the cap because it's like this number that people are like, oh, my God, you can't get under. If you want to be able to make it work, the Saints are the perfect example of that. The Eagles are the perfect example of that. You can move money around. If you're a team that wants to go out and get Julio, plus, hey, DeAndre Hopkins said he would switch up his contract. If DeAndre is willing to do it and you can get Hopkins, Julio, and A.J. Green, dude, I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, that's a fantasy lineup, but it's still pretty damn good now. Raymond Williams, who's better, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen? I have Josh Allen ranked higher. Both are very talented. If you're a Ravens fan, go check out our new Ravens channel, youtube.com/RavensTV. If you haven't already seen our show where we rank every single quarterback, starting QBs 32-1, go check it out. It's on the channel. Greg the Leg, who wins this trade? Falcons get Christian Kirk and Byron Murphy. Cardinals get Julio Jones. Who wins? I'll tell you what. We get a lot of trades on this show. This one is pretty good. So Jeremy's going to work on getting the trade graphic together real quick, and then we'll be able to show y'all. In terms of who wins this trade, I mean, we'll be able to show it to you guys on screen. The Cardinals get Julio. The Falcons get Kirk and Byron Murphy. One of the biggest needs for Atlanta is corner, and if you can also get a wide receiver who's halfway decent in Kirk, I mean, I actually think this is a pretty halfway decent deal. I still might say the Cardinals get the better of the deal because, you know, Cardinals want to get rid of Kirk, and Byron, he's an up-and-coming player. But I'll tell you what, this is a pretty good deal. So who wins this trade? Type C for the Cardinals, type F for the Atlanta Falcons. Go down in the comments section and let me know if you think both sides win. Hey, you can also type B for both. I won't hate it. If you're also a Cardinals fan, youtube.com/CardinalsTV is the channel. Now, if we didn't get to your question, understand this. We get a lot of questions here during our shows. We got over 200 people watching right now. Close to 300, actually, as it stands. So if you want to get your questions answered, you can always hit me up on IG. My DMs, they are open, at Mitchell Renz 365. If you want to go ahead and hit up producer Jeremy. Jeremy, what's your Twitter? J.I. Beedling. Not bleeding, but J.I. Beedling. He is on Twitter. You can also ask him as well. So go ahead. Hit me up on IG. Go ahead up Mr. Bleeding over there on Twitter to get your questions answered. Let's go to Antelope Sports. Hell of a name. Which team will be better team to watch, Browns or the Rams? If you like watching teams run the football, the Browns, I might actually say Cleveland, even though the Rams will also be very entertaining as well. Better defense, though, is the Rams. ACB collects which rookie quarterback will have the best rookie season. The easy answer here is Trevor Lawrence, right, because he's the #1 overall pick. Zach Wilson, though, I just saw his odds in Rookie of the Year. They might be the most interesting to me. If Justin Fields starts week 1, I might go ahead and say him because he's got probably the most talent around him, but I'm going to cop out and just go with Trevor Lawrence. Let's go to Scion. You're next up here. Which team has the best defensive line? So the best D-line overall, I might actually say Cleveland. I mean, having Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, 2 solid guys up the middle. I might say the Browns. Also throw out the Rams as well because you got Aaron Donald. So anytime you got that guy, it's kind of a cheat code. But those are the top 2 teams coming off the top of my head right now as it stands. If I'm missing somebody, if I'm missing a team super obvious, please let me know. Colts, maybe? No? Actually, no. Scratch that. Colts didn't make the list. All right, y'all. Make sure you guys subscribe. Turn on those notifications. I don't want you to miss anything. If you're watching this live right now, we are getting ready to wrap up this bad boy. If you missed the live show, as a reminder, we go live every single Monday and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. If you haven't already noticed, maybe your notifications aren't turned on. If you're trying to stay up to date on the latest NFL news and rumors, you can go ahead and do so. We would definitely appreciate that. The link is below. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV is the link how you do it. So we got 277 people watching right now. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video. If you're watching this on a later date and you're wondering, hey, what the heck's this guy talking about? Again, we go live Monday and Wednesday. One more question coming in here. It's from Corwin Stropes. Do you think the Broncos secondary is top 10? I do. If Von Miller can also play, and I guess he's not really a secondary player, but the pass rush there with some of the moves that they made, they were able to keep Justin Simmons. I also like the draft pick that they ended up getting, Surtain. So I'm going to go out and say, yes, this is a top 10 secondary. It's I don't know if they're back to the no-fly zone, but they're getting pretty damn close as far as I'm concerned. Storwin, appreciate the question. I said Storwin. Corwin, appreciate the question, my man. And again, if you guys haven't already, please go ahead, like the video. It helps us out a ton here. So